This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, and insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Hello everybody, welcome to show 144, Aussie Mac Zone. So, lucky enough to have Garth again with me. How are you, sir?
G'day, Michael. How you going?
I'm rocking, thanks, mate. Absolutely rocking.
You didn't get rocked away with all the rain and wind and so forth on the weekend?
No, it was a bit heavy. It rained all Saturday night fairly well, but we didn't get anywhere near the winds and the erosion, for example, that's been going on down there. So
yeah, well, that's good. That's good. We got plenty of rain Friday night and all Saturday, and woke up Sunday morning and it's blue sky, just freshly washed world.
Yes.
Went to go for a walk though, and the paths were flooded. But apart from that, it was...
it was a bit of a shame that I'm driving home. Was it yesterday afternoon, listening to the helicopter rescue people having to go and get people out of the surf that went in for a swim or went surfboard riding and couldn't hack it. You know.
Yeah. But, typical, isn't it?
Shame about the dumb people. Yes.
Yeah. Leave them there. No. Might be a little bit harsh, but you know.
Honesty hurts, doesn't it?
It does.
So, don't forget, we are brought to you by athwebhosting.com.au. So we've got the Australian servers, affordable and competitive plans, domain registration available, auto setup 24/7, instant activation, 24/7 ticket support system, and friendly help when needed. Go ATH Web Hosting.
.com.au.
Yes.
And speaking of .com.au's, if you need yourself a new domain name, it doesn't have to be a .com.au, obviously. There's about
Gazillion of them
metric ton of different top-level domains that you can get now. Yeah. If you want to be Penrith.ninja, there's a pretty good chance you can be.
Yes. Yeah, these days there's everything, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't forget, we've got our Aussie Apple ramblings now. So story number 1, Apple hires doctor with health kit experience away from Stanford Children's Hospital. He actually hasn't left the hospital. He's still working there as well as at Apple. So,
okay.
According to a report published Thursday, Apple recently poached Dr. Rajiv Kumar, a pediatric specialist whose diabetes research kit study made headlines in 2014. He's working at Stanford Children's Health. And this news comes 1 week after Apple posted a job opening seeking a lawyer with expertise in the US Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Apple's Privacy Console position advises on federal regulatory matters related to future products, suggesting the company plans to develop comprehensive medical technology beyond unregulated devices like Apple Watch. So there you go.
So what does all that mean, Michael?
I don't think it means he's going to work on the car for a start. I think.
Oh, you reckon? Might be a very healthy car.
Yes.
Healthy environment, so it's a healthy car, right? Come on.
Yes, absolutely. But I think it just shows that they're committed long term to getting our health system, getting us to take responsibility for our health.
Yes, and I think is it the next? What's your next story there? I think it's the next story. Is it the video Glenn posted in Facebook on the Facebook page? No.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Where Steve talking about in the old days. Yeah. Yes.
How about we jump to that one? Do you want to jump to that one for me? Because I think there's a little bit of a connection here that people probably don't necessarily get.
I don't have that as a story.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw it in the rundown. All right, so
don't go on. You're right.
Glenn, our overlord.
Yeah.
I posted. I think we will get a little bit more into this in a minute around Facebook page basically a Facebook club. So if people are wanting to join, let us know, and we'll get you added. But one video Glenn posted in there the other day was Steve Jobs talking not long after he came back to Apple, talking to all the staff about the new advertising campaign. And it's that very famous ad, you know, what do they call it? The what's the name? I just can't think of the name of the ad right now. It's the one, you know, where it's the crazy ones.
Yes.
The crazy ones, I think they call it actually. And if you watch the video, if you've seen it online, you will have seen it before.
Absolutely.
And Jobs was talking about, you know, times change, things, you know, the company that they are now, and this was however long ago it was, 10, 12 years ago, is not the company they were 10 years ago. The marketplace is not the marketplace it was 10 years ago. And I think that's true now. The marketplace we're in now, the company that we have now, and not what we had when Steve Jobs was around. Everything moves on. But what Jobs was saying in that video was, one of the things he was saying is their core values haven't changed. And that's the core value being a belief that people who are passionate can change the world. And that was the core, as he saw it, of Apple. People with passion can change the world. And that's what led to the Crazy Ones video, the Crazy Ones advertising campaign. I think partly what we see with Apple's health kit stuff, research kit, is still buying into that same belief that people with passion can change the world. What you see under Tim Cook's leadership, I believe, is not a stepping away from that, but a doubling down on that. It's not always in the ways that people, you know, we'll sort of hark back to, oh, Jobs wouldn't have done this, Jobs wouldn't have done that. But, Jobs wouldn't have done it the same way now if he was still alive as what he did then.
No, that's true.
But some of the core values about making fantastic products that enable people to change the world. And now it's more services and so forth. And I think this health kit stuff, the research kit, all of that stuff buys right into that core value that people with passion can change the world. And I think Apple have done more than many companies, or most companies that I can think of, to change how people, I don't know, everything from the green power and all that sort of stuff in their own buildings, in their own facilities.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're still using Foxconn. They're still using these companies in China with appalling workers' rights and so forth, workers' conditions. But of all the companies who use those, Samsung, all the other companies, they all use the same manufacturers.
Yeah.
But Apple is the one that's been putting pressure on them to make the lives of those people who work in those companies better.
Yeah, well, they're doing the schooling and the education. Now, some of it may be after hours. We don't know. We're not there. But, yeah, it all adds up. And there was another story this week just regarding that, where they've actually asked the staff what they should be developing now, whether it's how the people's at Foxconn, or should we concentrating down on better control of the environment, things like that. So they've asked the staff a group of questions regarding that, so everybody's involved and everyone's behind it. It's a totally in Apple thing.
Open book management type of thing. Yeah. And that's I believe they still have the policy in place that Cook introduced of whatever funds you as an employee donate to a cause, to a registered charity, they'll match it.
Yes. Yeah.
To just think that your organization does that sort of stuff. I really think that they have, in fact, doubled down on that message that that was in that ad.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've actually got a poster of all of the prints that were the crazy ones.
Oh, cool.
In I used to have it at our shop, and now I have it in my workshop at the school that I work at.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see it and just reminded. It's got it, it's got all it, and unfortunately, it's amazing how many aren't around anymore because they're not all that old,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, yeah, I didn't even know there was such a poster. But yeah, it's
yeah.
you still watch that ad and it's still yeah, okay, that was really some good advertising.
Yeah, especially considering. So I'll just skip ahead here for a minute. So one of the quick stories we've got is Apple honours Muhammad Ali on its homepage. The tribute on Apple's website includes a quote that reads, "The man who has no imagination has no wings." So Apple has been a long-time supporter, admirer of Ali, showcasing the boxer in one of its Think Different campaign videos back in 1997. So that was just one of our quick stories there.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Yeah, it's I don't know. Every second day it seems like we wake up and find that someone iconic has left us, doesn't it?
yeah, it's been a bad year.
Yeah, it has. All right, sorry for derailing us a bit
No.
from the show notes, but
Good. So
really tied in for me. And
yes,
and it's probably not an obvious connection that people look at that ad probably now and think, oh, Apple. Well, I think Glenn even said, I think Apple should watch this ad. They've lost touch, but I don't know. I actually don't know that the core belief of making products that can change the world and people with passion can change the world is alive and strong.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'd just like to point out that my grandson's been a little bit sick all day, but now he's just obviously getting his second wind right now. So I apologise for the bit of noise in the background. So
hey, don't apologise. It's great. He's getting his second wind.
Yes.
For someone who's got a sick kid around, to see them, with a bit of life in them and happy is a wonderful thing. So absolutely. It's all good, man.
Thank you. So ANZ Apple Pay ads. So yes, I'm using them. Once I worked out how to make it work, which is as simple as double tapping the home button or the button on the watch.
The friends button.
It works. Yeah. I actually trying to work out why I was getting the ANZ coming up on my phone a lot lately, but then I realised when I'm getting it out of my pocket, I'm hitting the home button obviously twice, and that's why ANZ's was showing up.
Well, for me, my Pay with American Express pops up all the time.
Yeah.
But the funniest place is when I go in and out of work, because I've got a swiper to get in and out of work, security thing. And I keep the card in my phone case because, I've got a credit card, a few cards in my phone case. So basically I don't have a wallet with me. I just, hold the phone up and you want to pay with American Express? I'm like, no, I don't really want to pay with American Express to get into work. Thanks very much.
That's one way of improving the bottom line, isn't it?
Yeah,
you to pay to come to work.
And pay to let yourself out again as well. There's something wrong here.
Yeah. No wonder they love you at work.
No, the NFC chip in there is enough. The NFC reader, the swiper is enough to trigger the do you want to pay with that? Yeah. I thought it was quite funny.
Yeah, so I've been enjoying the ads. So there's one where a person goes up to buy a dozen eggs at the shop and wants to pay for them one at a time just so he can have fun using Apple Pay.
See, because I don't watch any commercial television, I haven't seen these. Yeah. It's all Netflix or whatever. I'm actually interested to hear what these ads are.
There's another one where there's two girls that have just maybe had lunch together and they want to split the bill 10 ways and then they just go pop, pop, pop. So they're enjoying themselves. The first one I think they brought out was everyone's got this really shocked look when he says, I want to pay with this, and shows his phone. And everyone just goes quiet and not knowing what's going to happen next. Or one that we saw the other night where we were lying together, my wife and I. So there's a customer just leans in while he's talking on his phone and pays for whatever he's buying. Then the cashier says something like, "Is this what we've reduced ourselves to?" Because the guy never stopped talking, just leaned over with his head, paid, walked out again. Yeah, so, and that's actually quite a good line, as in, is that what we reduced ourselves to, or is that's what we reduced ourselves to? You know, it's just...
yeah. Well, I don't know. I still haven't had the chance to use it too often, just because, you know, American Express is my version and no one takes American Express.
Everyone takes ANZ, mate. So
yeah, I know.
I'm getting used to
using
using
bring it to my actual bank.
Lead by example. Lead with my wrist.
Yep. Absolutely.
So we've got another really good story here. Siri helps save a life. So a mother has looked in on her baby, discovered the baby had stopped breathing. It was blue. She dropped the phone as she runs to help, starts CPR, realises she's dropped her iPhone, yells, "Hey, you know what? Siri." Gets Siri to call 000 and is able to talk to the emergency people on speaker, confirming what she was doing was correct, ambulance location, etc. Now, that was a couple of months ago, and all is well with the baby. Well done, Mum. So I think that's a great story.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely.
And just keep it in mind. You can yell it out. On the latest ones, you can just yell it out. Otherwise, it's actually got to be connected for the slightly earlier ones. But yeah, just another.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that where the hands-free really came into, you know, a lot more use than than normally. Yeah, that's really cool.
And that's sort of. I'm sure you can do that with the opposition's phone too in a lot of cases. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's an advertisement more for the facility of having these frivolous things like, you know, voice dialing and so forth. You know, it's actually, you know, there can be real situations where they're not just a convenience, but actually facilitate in this case, you know, possibly the saving of this kid's life. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So again, well done everybody that was involved.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
So now we've got our Aussie Mac Zone Facebook group. So please come and join our Facebook group. It's a closed group to stop spammers and time wasters, but it is our community. So ask questions, any questions, and we'll try and, as a community, answer them, even if Daft Garth and Daft Michael can't.
By the way, Daft, that's our names in the upcoming Star Wars movie. You should not have been told that. Indian.
So yeah, you just say I want to join, and then I go in and click a button. And I don't live on my phone, so it might take me a couple of hours to actually get that far. But I will be doing it a lot more often, of course. So yeah.
Oh dear, I have to go and use Facebook. Which, you know, it's there. Of course I have it, but I hardly ever use it. But you know. Whenever you look at it, you go, "Oh, okay, cool."
Yeah, so
I can see how people get sucked into that.
and to start with, there's this awesome video of Steve Jobs talking, just to give you an idea of what's on there.
Absolutely.
So another thing that I noticed today when I was updating someone's computer, there were some updates to the dictation voices on the Mac. So does that mean it's getting ready for Siri on the Mac, do you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll see that in a... Geez, it's not long now. It's not...
Nah.
How long is it? Like a week?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, big show next week, I hope.
Yeah. Is it on the... When is WWDC? 13th?
Yeah, Monday night. Starts Monday night Australian time.
Yeah, or like
Tuesday
2 o'clock on the Tuesday morning or something.
Yeah.
3 o'clock Tuesday morning.
Yeah,
so yeah, by Tuesday night we'll be...
etc.
Yes.
Just a reminder for a lot of people that are interested, a lot of the actual talks that are actually being done at the conference are being televised as well. So the Apple TV's got an app for it particularly. So yeah, be aware of that too.
You can get it on your phone too, as well, of
Yeah.
course.
Yep.
And yeah, all the developer things that used to be all under, hush hush NDA and
Yeah.
no one was allowed. They're all available now.
Yes. So
Last year or two.
I think it's the dictation. I think it's definitely to get Siri ready for the Mac. I would have thought. Yeah.
Yep.
So
absolutely, which is really cool.
Yes. Yes. Now, I know I harp on it about this a lot, but please back up. I had to do another data recovery over the weekend for someone, and the data recovery costs a lot less than a 2 terabyte USB drive from, say, Decomp, which is one of my local retail suppliers that I buy a lot of stuff from.
Okay.
And when I recover, because they say, please get the photos.
Yeah.
And when I recover them, you lose the dates for a start, because they're all created that day that you actually recover them.
Yes.
You lose location or other metadata, and in this particular case, a lot of the photos were only half. Like if you were looking at the photo as an ordinary picture, half the photo down the bottom was just all grey, like it had just lost a lot of its data. So please back up.
Yeah. I had that's awful, isn't it? But I had just on the backup thing, Time Machine, just have it on.
Yes.
I noticed though that because I use my Time Machine, my Airport Extreme, to store files on as well, outside of the backups.
Yeah.
It was getting a bit full, and I knew it was starting to delete older backups. But I realized that I only had backups back until the beginning of the year. So I went in this week and freed up a bit of space. And the way I realized that was I found that I had messed up a file.
Yeah.
And needed to use Time Machine to go backwards in time and get an older version, restore an older version of the file. I only had to go back, a couple of weeks to get to a good, a version of the file that I needed.
Yeah.
But in the process, realized that, hey, yeah, my backups only go back to January. And I'd like a little bit more time than that. So, yeah, got a 4 terabyte drive that I had there and started moving some of the stuff that didn't need to be on the drive I used for Time Machine off that, just to make sure that I can keep those backups going for a little bit longer.
Yeah, and people need to realise, because they take a lot more photos these days and back them up with their phones, saved to their computer, that it chews it up a lot quicker than it used to as well. So.
It does, and the photos that we take are, they've got, anything that I take has got the live photo. What do they call the press and see the video photos? Yeah. So they're about twice as big as they would be anyway, I think.
Yes.
Yes. As well as the fact that they're 12 megapixel now instead of the 8 that I had before. So exactly. Look, a 9-minute video, 1.5 gigabytes right there. And that's not even on the higher settings, that's on the lower settings.
Yeah.
So these memories in photo and video add up in space a lot.
Yeah. So please back up. Yes, very important. Apple partners with this is an Apple Music story. So Apple partners with designer Alexander Wang for Fashion Channel on Apple Music. Apple has long talked about blurring the line between technology and fashion, especially with the launch of the Apple Watch. And today it partnered with fashion guru Alexander Wang to launch a fashion channel on Apple Music. As reported by Vogue, Wang has partnered with Apple to launch a series of 3 playlists, one called Chilled, one called Hype, and one called Vibe. So there's something for you to go in and have a listen to and be inspired.
Have you ever heard of this person?
No, but I don't read Vogue magazine either.
No, me either. But let's hope it hits a mark somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe you never know. You go listen to it. You might the chill one might be all right for me.
Yes. And there was another one. Sorry, I just can't think who. There was another brand of watch band coming out, which is a higher end one. I can't remember what brand it is now. For Apple Watch, they're going to be sold through the Apple Store, and they've got their own nice leather bands and things coming out. So it's not the Hermes one; it's someone else. But
I have seen that one as well. I
can't remember who it is. So
strangely, I didn't pay a lot of attention to it because it's really not something that you or I are going to be buying in the near future. I don't believe.
Come on eBay.
Yeah, exactly.
But we get to try lots of different ones. So
yeah, that's right.
So I just want to remind everyone, Aussie Tech Radio at aussietechradio.com, Aussie Tech Security Podcast, and the evil lot over at Aussie Tech Heads Podcast. Don't forget them and have a listen.
Absolutely.
It's lots of intellectual information there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I discovered this week iOS Apple Mail has taught itself about groups that I email to. So as you type a person's name, it gives you a list of people, and in the list is a list of names I send a group message to. So there's one group of about 4 people that I just send car racing stuff to, and as I start typing, say Chris, it lists all the different Chris people in my address book, but also down there it lists Chris, Gary, David, Tim as a group. So I can just click on that and it puts them all out. Now that's taught itself to do that with
must be
no
9.
help from me.
3, I reckon, because I've seen that a couple of times over the last little while, I don't know, a month or 2 ago.
Yeah.
But I was running a beta, I guess, so.
Yeah.
I think I've noticed it in messages as well. I might be mistaken there. Or,
might just get the address book information.
Yeah. On a similar topic, it's been like this for a while now, for a couple of versions, but the search in iOS Mail as well, mail.app, is fantastic.
Yeah.
You put in a few letters or whatever, and you get, a number of different search tokens that you can jump to in the same way, pre-populating. Whether it be, anything from this person, anything from this group, there's a few different things, a few different search tokens it'll suggest for you, which can be exactly what you're looking for.
So who knows these bots that they're all talking about at Google I/O and stuff when the phone's smart enough?
I don't know. It's all a bit,
because Apple's so far behind the time frame, not having any bots or anything. So we'll never catch up, will we?
No. Let's face it, though. Apple it's not their thing. I don't know. People are. I don't know why people are so surprised that Apple haven't got the latest and greatest of bots or whatever it is. They're never the first ones. They weren't the first MP3 players. The iPods weren't the first ones. They weren't the first computers. They weren't the first bloody anything. They're the ones that came along afterwards and made it work properly. Made it something you wanted to use.
One of the shows I was listening to the other day, we're talking about MP3 players and the creative. I remember the creative one. I had one of those. And
creative.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huge difference in what's in what it did compared to what the iPod, the first iteration of the iPod could do. And I couldn't even afford a first iteration. I had to wait till the second one came out before I could afford it.
I got given one by work, a little iPod Shuffle. That was the first Apple device I ever had.
Well, there you go.
That started a love affair, unfortunately. It was the gateway drug
from there, did it?
Yeah, it did. That was a freebie gateway drug.
Just a reminder that we're trying to get enough people interested to go to the screening of Steve Jobs. Now, this is not the Ashton Kutcher one. And we're thinking either a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday morning. So if you could please email Michael at aussiemaczone.com.au with movie and your suburb as the subject. We guarantee not to pass on the email addresses. I've got to get a minimum of 50, and I'm also trying to arrange a little product fair to go with it. So if you think you're interested to see it, just let me know, and we'll go from there.
No worries.
Yeah, and just tying in with the medical story, I just want to remind people about putting your medical ID data into your phone, your iPhone. So
yes, that's a really important one, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So tap the health app. On the lower right is a medical ID. Tap it and fill in the details, please. Now, also remember that phone you passed down to your mother or your father. Make sure they've done it too, please. Yeah.
So this is information that can be locked, can be accessed. So remember, it's stuff that can be accessed from your lock screen. Yeah. In the case of an emergency, car crash, something like that. You can have contact details there. You know, it could be useful just for if you lost your phone, for that matter.
Yes, very true.
But just have your blood type, that sort of stuff there for emergency personnel to access. Be aware that it is that you know you're putting it where it can be accessed by somebody with your handset. But it's so worthwhile in that sort of situation.
Yeah. I wouldn't have thought there was too much data that's personalised.
No.
Except just to know that you know, I'm on blood pressure tablets, or you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm a type 2 diabetic or something like that. That could be in there.
Yeah.
You know, but
if you had a crash and they've got access to that, you know they've got a lot more in your wallet anyway, and your credit card details and all that stuff. It's not a security thing. It's just not a security concern, but it is something that I think is important to make sure people know what it, be aware of.
Absolutely.
But yeah, definitely one to fill out.
So yes, that's.
I've got one little tip as well.
Excellent.
That I came across, and hopefully the video feed's working okay again tonight.
Yeah, it's been perfect all night. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and I'm going to tie it back into our backup stuff too. So backup. And one of the ways I do backup is through iCloud Photo Library. And sometimes I forget before we record the show to go into Photos on my Mac, into Preferences in iCloud, and there's a little checkbox there that says pause syncing for 1 day. So if I haven't checked that, if I don't pause syncing, iCloud, and I have, taken some photos, or in this case, a bit of video, it'll chew on video for a while on my meager bandwidth. It'll take a while for a video or two to get uploaded. 1.5 gig, as I said, a 9-minute video, far out. Yeah. It takes a while to upload. So that was one of the things that was killing my bandwidth, me forgetting to turn off photos. So if you are having trouble, you don't, wonder why internet's not working when it should be, just check if anything is using your upload. And, if your upload is getting saturated, like mine was at that point, it also starts to affect your download and, your ping and so forth. So the whole broadband just goes to a trickle.
Goes to a trickle, yes. No, it's been great. So I'm glad we've actually resolved that. We appear to have resolved that, don't we?
It seems, well, let's not talk too quick. But yeah, jumping into photos and telling it to pause syncing, just while you're doing business critical stuff or whatever it is, might be something worthwhile doing.
Excellent. Yes. So I'll add that to our list, my friend. Thank you. That's it.
Do one more little thing as well.
Please, yes.
One more little thing, make it quick. I've got a new little device.
Okay.
That I just want to, I don't know, can set in the thing there?
Yeah.
So open him up.
All right.
And it's Shure. Now you would have heard of Shure, the microphone company. Yeah. So
it's like a little tennis ball thing that they keep it in.
Pull that off. So it comes in a nice little hard case.
Yeah.
Carry it with you anywhere.
Yeah.
Wind protector obviously on it.
Yeah. Makes a difference.
It's you plug it into where's my phone? Plug it into the lightning port on the phone like that.
Yeah.
You can have it. Oh, I had it backwards, but anyway, you can have it so that it's a dual capsule, so it's a what's called mid-side.
Yeah.
So it does stereo left and right as well as a central one, so you can see the left, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you put it on the phone, you can configure it so it's left and right for if you're doing landscape.
Yeah.
But you can see you can twist that, so now it's left and right if you're doing landscape. Or obviously you can have it straight up if you're holding the phone like that and you just want to talk straight down. Really, really lovely quality. So that is your Shure MV88.
Excellent.
And I've done a few recordings with it and sounds absolutely fantastic. So there we go.
MV88. I want to make sure I get the right one.
That's the one, Shure MV88.
Yeah.
And, you know, the funniest thing, cheapest place I could find it, Apple Store. How bizarre is that?
Well, expect the quality. Makes it harder for the rest of the music shops, but I'm surprised you found many places that had it.
Well, yeah, they keep it in stock in the stores, yeah.
Yeah. So that's all we've got.
That's your lot for the night.
Excellent, well done. And as I said, next week's show, hopefully we'll have a big rocker time because we'll have had some information for a change. Direct
Absolutely, some new information.
Mouths.
We can confirm some of the rumours that we've heard.
Yes.
or go, wow, we didn't see that coming.
That's the one we're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Those days are long gone, I think, unfortunately, but you never know.
Yeah, with all the leaks that they have these days, it's yeah.
The one thing you can say though is WWDC is more about the software than the hardware.
Yes.
And the software is where they do still have a bit more control. You know, with the hardware, obviously they've got to get, 100,000 of them built ready to go, so it's a bit harder to keep that secret.
Yeah.
But some of the software they've got a bit more control over, so you never know.
Yes.
And in the meantime, also, guys, thanks. Don't forget to jump on if you're a Facebook user. Just search for Aussie Mac Zone and request there, and we'll get you added.
That's right, and we'll get our community chatting.
Absolutely.
Thanks, mate. Thank you for a great night, and have fun.
Thank you, and good night, listeners.